All right, so Raw was, it was slightly better this week. But SmackDown, Stackdown, man, there's a lot to unpack
A
there.
lot going on.
Especially with Road Dogg's return as lead co-writer.
Oh yeah, big move.
Yeah, you might remember him from his previous time in that role
Sure.
back in 2016.
Yep.
And well, let's just say it wasn't a fan favorite.
Right.
Fans are not happy. The hashtag Fire Road Dogg
Yeah, I remember that.
was trending for a reason. So this comeback, I don't know, has a lot of people worried,
Yeah, I can understand that.
especially with WrestleMania 41 right around the corner.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's definitely a bold move by WWE.
Yeah.
Considering how fans react, how mixed the reactions were to his work back then.
Mm.
Some people said that he was held back by Vince McMahon's creative control.
Right, right.
Back then, but others felt like his ideas they didn't really click with the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
So
They just weren't good.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Road Dogg can come up with something fresh, something exciting this time
Mhm.
around.
Right.
Especially now with Triple H running things.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big question mark.
Yeah.
It is. It is. But before we get too deep into that, let's do a quick recap.
Right?
Quick recap of the major developments from both shows this week.
Sure.
So on Raw, we finally got confirmation
Finally.
of Jey Uso challenging Gunther
Yep.
for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
You chose Gunther.
Hmm.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about Gunther's dominant run as champion and Uso needing a big win,
Right.
especially after all the bloodline trauma, right?
Right, right.
It's that classic clash of styles, the powerhouse versus the high flyer.
Mm-hmm.
And for Uso, it's his chance to step out from Roman Reigns' shadow
Yeah.
and really prove himself as a singles competitor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And over on SmackDown, Charlotte Flair picked Tiffany Stratton as her WrestleMania opponent for the Women's Championship.
I mean, it's predictable,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right, right.
Stratton she's been steadily improving.
She has, yeah.
And a WrestleMania match against Flair, I mean, that's a huge opportunity for her to show what she can do.
Right.
Plus, you've got Trish Stratus in the mix for that tag team match in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Trish's hometown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to electrify the crowd.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's a smart move, I think, to bring in a legend like Trish Stratus and
Yeah.
add some extra excitement to the feud.
Totally, totally. Speaking of excitement, or maybe the lack thereof,
Okay.
WrestleMania 41 is shaping up to be, well, interesting.
Interesting. How so?
I'm hearing a lot of, is that it? From fans online. It feels a bit, underwhelming compared to last year.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think.
It is. It's missing that central narrative,
Right.
that emotional hook that really pulls you in.
Right, right.
Last year, we had Cody Rhodes and his journey, right?
Mhm.
Culminating in that WrestleMania main event.
Right.
This year, the card just feels, I don't know, a little bit disjointed. It's
Right.
lacking that unifying storyline.
We're missing that must-see feeling, and we only have two matches officially confirmed: Gunther versus Jey Uso,
Yep.
and Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. So let's dive into some speculation. What about Cody Rhodes? Is he destined for a rematch with Roman Reigns?
I mean, it's possible, but I think you've got Cody facing John Cena.
Okay.
Cena's already in the Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
And a win there sets him up perfectly for a title shot.
Right.
It'd be, the clash of generations, the past versus the present.
Right.
That's a match that could headline any WrestleMania.
Okay. But hold on.
What?
Ari Emanuel,
Okay.
the CEO of Endeavor, he
Yeah.
hinted on Pat McAfee's show that pretty good things are going to happen at Elimination Chamber.
Pretty good things, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the fans are going wild with speculation that he might be talking about The Rock.
Ah, The Rock.
Could The Rock still be in play?
I mean, The Rock's return would definitely shake things up.
Yeah.
And it would definitely inject that WrestleMania moment that seems to be missing.
Right.
But, we have to consider, the logistics. The Rock's schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's busy.
Yeah, yeah.
And Hollywood is still recovering from the strikes, right?
Yeah.
So it might be difficult for him to actually commit to a WrestleMania match.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Good point. So maybe we should temper our expectations on that one.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Okay. What about Logan Paul?
Okay.
He's quickly become a major player in WWE.
He has.
Who do you see him facing at WrestleMania?
Well, Cena is definitely a possibility, but I think a match against AJ Styles would be fantastic.
Oh, okay.
For both of them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both, I mean, they're incredibly athletic. They're charismatic performers.
Yeah.
And they haven't faced each other one-on-one.
No, they haven't.
Yet.
Yeah, that's true.
And Styles recently moved to Raw.
Right.
So it would be a fresh matchup.
Yeah.
With a lot of potential.
I love that. A fresh matchup with two incredible athletes. That's what WrestleMania should be. Now let's talk about the tribal chief himself,
Okay.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Who do you think he'll be facing at WrestleMania?
All signs point to a triple threat match.
Ooh.
With CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
Oh, wow.
They all have history.
Oh, yeah.
Intense rivalries, a lot of unresolved issues, right?
All right, yeah.
It makes for a very high-stakes match.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Punk's favor from Paul Heyman.
Oh, that's right.
That hasn't been addressed yet.
He's got that favor in his back pocket.
He does.
Is he gonna call it in?
I don't know.
Or will Heyman betray him to stay with Reigns?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
This match has the potential to be an all-timer.
Oh, yeah.
With all those, layers of betrayal and intrigue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to the women's championship scene. We know that Rhea Ripley is defending her title against Io Sky on Raw after Elimination Chamber.
Right.
But could we see a triple threat match at WrestleMania, maybe with Liv Morgan added to the mix?
A triple threat is definitely possible.
Yeah.
Especially if Liv Morgan wins the Elimination Chamber match.
Right.
But I don't know if rehashing the Ripley-Morgan rivalry is the best move right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they already had a pretty decisive feud.
Yeah.
That culminated in a last woman standing match.
Right. It feels like we've seen that story play out.
Exactly. Yeah. And while a Ripley-Bianca Belair WrestleMania match would be incredible. I mean, come on.
Amazing, yeah.
But they haven't really interacted much lately. So it would feel rushed at this point.
Yeah.
They're involved in completely different storylines. So
yeah.
It makes more sense to save that showdown for WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's talk about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Okay.
They are on a collision course.
Yeah.
For another epic showdown.
It's going to be good.
Elimination Chamber is in their hometown of Toronto.
Right.
But will Sami Zayn even be cleared to compete?
Mm-hmm.
He's still recovering from that attack by the Bloodline.
That's true. It's unclear if he'll be, medically cleared for a full match at Elimination Chamber.
Right.
But they're almost certainly going to do something.
Yeah.
Even if it's, like an unsanctioned brawl or a confrontation.
Yeah, you can't have Owens and Zayn in Toronto.
Exactly.
And not give the crowd a moment.
No, you can't.
But where does that leave them for WrestleMania? And what about Randy Orton? He's been MIA since Kevin Owens took him out, months ago?
Right.
Will he reappear and seek revenge? Or is there something else in store for him?
That's a great question. I mean, if Owens and Zayn have their blow-off match at WrestleMania,
right?
What role is there for Orton?
No.
Unless, and I'm just spitballing here.
Okay.
What if Randy Orton returns with a shocking heel turn?
A heel Randy Orton.
And aligns himself with Kevin Owens.
Whoa.
Think about it.
Okay.
They both have that intense, that unpredictable energy.
Yeah, yeah.
They've clashed in the past, but they've also shown, like, a grudging respect for each other's ruthlessness.
Right.
And they both have history with the Bloodline.
Oh, okay. That's a twist I did not see coming.
Right.
A heel Orton aligning with Owens would definitely shake things up.
It would be a major storyline shift.
Yeah.
Imagine Owens and Orton, this dominant force, maybe even going after the tag team titles.
Oh, wow. Okay. My mind is officially blown. That would be a WrestleMania moment for sure.
It would.
But before we get too far down that road,
sure.
Let's take a closer look at the new women's tag team titles.
Okay.
WWE just introduced them a few weeks ago, and I'm curious to see how they'll be incorporated into the WrestleMania card.
Yeah, it was exciting to see, the titles introduced, but I'm a little concerned, honestly, about how they've been booked so far.
Yeah.
I mean, both champions, Lyra Valkyria and Chelsea Green.
I know.
They were pinned in qualifying matches this week.
It feels like they rushed into creating these women's tag team titles just to mirror the men's divisions.
Yeah.
Maybe starting with one new women's title and seeing how it went would have been a better approach.
I think so, yeah. They have a lot of talented women on the roster.
They do.
But the storytelling hasn't really been there so far for the tag team division.
Yeah.
You know, we need compelling storylines to make these titles feel important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, back to WrestleMania speculation.
Okay.
Where do you think Drew McIntyre fits into all of this? He's had an incredible year and deserves a big WrestleMania moment.
He does. He does. Right now, it seems like he's either facing Damian Priest or LA Knight.
Yeah.
He has history with Priest, you know, dating back to WrestleMania 39.
Right, okay.
And their match at Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
And Priest eliminated McIntyre from the Royal Rumble.
Right. Yeah.
So it's all nicely set up for a WrestleMania rematch.
Yeah.
But I'm really intrigued by the LA Knight option.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their promo battles would be legendary.
They would be amazing.
I agree. LA Knight has been, he's been gaining momentum.
He has, yeah.
And a win over McIntyre at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be huge for him.
Right.
Plus, their styles would clash really well in the ring.
Yeah.
Making for, potentially a show-stealing match.
I'm sold on LA Knight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so if McIntyre faces LA Knight, where does that leave Priest on the card?
Right.
Here's a thought. What if Jimmy Uso wins the United States Championship?
Oh, interesting.
It would give both Usos championship gold at WrestleMania.
Right.
And it would open up some interesting possibilities for Priest.
Yeah.
Maybe a multi-man match for the U.S. title.
Okay.
With Priest, LA Knight, Nakamura.
Okay, yeah.
And someone else.
I love that idea. A fatal four-way for the U.S. title at WrestleMania with all those guys. Sign me up.
Right.
And speaking of potential title matches, I'm really hoping we get Braun Strowman versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's a story waiting to be told. It would be a hard-hitting, physical match that would really get the crowd going.
Yeah.
And imagine the pop if Sheamus finally wins the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
Oh, it would be huge.
Right. It would be a huge moment for him.
Yeah.
Plus, it would free up Braun Strowman. To move on to something else. Maybe even a feud with AJ Styles.
Ooh.
After Gunther inevitably loses the Intercontinental title.
Right.
Gunther and Styles.
That would be an incredible program.
They're technically gifted wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
And their styles would mesh perfectly.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All right, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about some of the other storylines heading into WrestleMania. What's going on with this whole Bloodline saga? It feels like things are getting even more intense after what happened on SmackDown.
Definitely. The Bloodline is imploding.
Yeah.
We saw Solo Sikoa defeat Jimmy Uso in a brutal match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It seems like Roman Reigns' hold on his family is weakening, and the cracks are starting to show.
Yeah. And let's not forget about Jacob Fatu.
Oh, yeah.
He's been lurking in the shadows, clearly targeting the Bloodline. And that intense stare down with Solo Sikoa on SmackDown has everyone buzzing about a potential WrestleMania showdown.
Oh, that match would be a clash of titans.
Right.
Fatu brings that hard-hitting Samoan style, and Sikoa's raw power it's undeniable.
Yeah.
It would be a hard-hitting, intense match.
Oh, yeah.
That could steal the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it also raises the question: if Fatu is, he's coming for the Bloodline.
Yeah.
What about the rest of his family?
Ooh, that's an interesting point. Could we see a full-blown war between the Anoa'i family factions?
It's possible.
At WrestleMania? That would be insane.
It would be wild. And it would definitely add another layer of complexity to the Bloodline saga.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But let's not forget about the other members of the LWO.
Right.
Rey Mysterio is currently injured, and the New Day has been systematically taking them out.
They have.
So where does that leave the LWO? They're outnumbered, they're outmatched.
That's where Penta comes in.
Penta.
Remember that brief confrontation he had with Braun Strowman a few weeks ago?
I do. Yeah.
And then this week on Raw, he had that that intense stare down with AJ Styles.
Right.
Could those seemingly random encounters
Yeah.
be setting up something bigger?
Wait a minute. Are you suggesting that Penta could be the one to come to Rey Mysterio's rescue?
Imagine this. The New Day has systematically taken out, every member of the LWO.
Right.
Rey's injured. He's outnumbered.
Yeah.
Just when all hope seems lost.
Yeah.
Penta appears.
Oh, wow.
Ready to fight alongside his fellow luchador.
That would be an incredible WrestleMania moment.
What would it do?
The crowd would go wild.
They would.
And then we get Rey and Penta versus the New Day in a tag team match.
Classic underdog story.
Yeah.
And it would be a fantastic showcase for all four men. Plus, it would add some much needed excitement to the tag team division.
Absolutely, yeah. Speaking of tag team wrestling,
yeah,
let's talk about the SmackDown tag team titles.
Yeah.
It feels like we're heading for another multi-team match.
Yeah.
Maybe even a ladder match.
Probably.
At WrestleMania.
Which honestly would be a bit predictable.
Yeah.
After they did the same thing last year.
Yeah.
Fight the titles.
Right.
But, it is the easiest way to incorporate all the teams that are currently vying for those titles. I mean, you've got the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly,
right.
Lotharios, DIY.
They all deserve a spot.
They all deserve a spot on the WrestleMania card. Right?
Yeah.
So
I hear you. A multi-team ladder match would be, chaotic and entertaining.
Oh.
But it would be nice to see a more focused storyline developed within the tag team division.
I agree. We need compelling narratives,
Right, yeah.
That go beyond just wanting the championship.
Right. Okay, let's move on to the mystery surrounding Jade's attack.
Right.
We got a little more insight on SmackDown with that cell phone footage, but it still feels like we're a long way from getting any real answers.
It does.
Who do you think is behind it all?
They're definitely setting up a misdirect.
Yeah.
Making it seem like Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez were responsible.
Yeah.
But then Naomi's suspicious behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, that raises even more questions.
Yeah.
Could she be involved somehow?
I'm still leaning towards Naomi being the attacker.
Really?
Yeah, maybe she's working with someone else, but I can't see Bianca Belair turning heel.
Interesting.
It just doesn't fit her character.
Yeah.
She's all about positivity and strength.
Yeah, it would be a shocking twist, that's for sure.
It would.
But we need more clues before we can really speculate.
Right.
And then there's the question of Jade's WrestleMania match.
Right.
Assuming she's recovered from the attack.
Yeah.
Who does she face?
Naomi.
Bianca? Someone else entirely?
It's hard to say without knowing the full story.
Yeah.
And then there's the question of the women's tag team titles.
Right.
Will Bianca and Jade still be champions come WrestleMania?
That's a good point. Maybe they lose the titles before WrestleMania.
Okay.
Which frees up Bianca for a singles match.
Right.
And allows Jade to focus on her revenge.
Right.
There are a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
Which is what makes this storyline so intriguing.
Absolutely. There are so many moving pieces.
There are.
In the women's division right now, and it's exciting to see where it all leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of WrestleMania plans, we haven't talked about Goldberg yet.
Oh yeah.
He said he wants to retire this year, and a lot of people assumed his final match would be at WrestleMania.
Especially since he's teased a match with Gunther in the past.
Exactly. But we haven't heard anything concrete, and he hasn't appeared on WWE programming in months.
Right.
It's almost like he's been forgotten. In all the WrestleMania speculation.
It is strange, isn't it? Maybe they're saving his retirement for a Saudi Arabia show where the paydays are bigger.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just waiting for the right opportunity.
Could be.
Either way, it's odd that he's been completely absent from the WrestleMania conversation. It feels like a missed opportunity.
It does.
Especially if this is truly his final match.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he get a proper send-off?
He should.
At WrestleMania.
I agree. It would be a fitting tribute.
Yeah.
To his career. To have his final match on the grandest stage of them all.
Right.
But maybe there are some behind the scenes issues.
Yeah, maybe.
That that we're not aware of.
Possibly. Or maybe WWE has a surprise up their sleeve.
Ooh.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We will.
But speaking of surprises, what are your thoughts on these rumors about a potential appearance by Sting?
Sting at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
It's been circulating on social media and some wrestling news sites.
Right.
There are whispers that he might be involved in a cinematic match.
Oh, wow.
Possibly against The Undertaker.
Yep. Yeah.
Or even a tag team match alongside Darby Allin.
A cinematic match with The Undertaker would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a perfect way to showcase Sting's, iconic persona.
Right.
And play to his strengths.
Right.
At this stage in his career.
Yeah.
And a tag team match with Darby Allin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be a great way to, pass the torch
right.
to the next generation.
Imagine Sting and Darby Allin versus the House of Black.
That would be visually stunning.
Oh, yeah.
It would be an unforgettable WrestleMania moment.
Absolutely. It would definitely be a unique and memorable match.
It would.
And it would be a great way to introduce Sting to a new audience who might not be familiar with his legacy.
Mm-hmm. Host.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be and a great way to introduce him to a new audience who might not be familiar with his legacy. Right. Okay, let's talk about the United States Championship picture.
Okay.
It feels like we're heading for a multi-man match at WrestleMania, potentially a fatal four-way with Damian Priest, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, and who else?
Oh, and don't forget about Mustafa Ali.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He's been very vocal about wanting a shot at the U.S. title.
Yeah.
And his high-flying style, I mean, that would add a really exciting element to that match. Plus, he's got that underdog story that resonates with the fans.
Right. And then there's always the possibility of a surprise entrant.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe someone from NXT gets called up and immediately thrust into the title picture.
That would be a great way to shake things up.
Yeah.
And it would give the NXT talent a chance to really shine on the biggest stage.
Speaking of NXT, I'm curious to see if they'll have any representation at WrestleMania.
Beyond Braun Breaker.
Right.
Who's already confirmed for a match.
Yeah, I think it's highly likely. I mean, WrestleMania is always an opportunity to showcase, the future of WWE.
Yeah.
And NXT is full of talented wrestlers who are ready for the main roster. Maybe we'll see someone like Carmelo Hayes.
Oh yeah.
Or Grayson Waller make a surprise appearance.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And what about the women's division? Do you think we'll see any NXT call-ups in the women's WrestleMania matches?
It's definitely possible. There are several women in NXT right now who are WrestleMania ready. I mean, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell. I mean, they could all add a fresh dynamic to the women's division.
I would love to see Roxanne Perez get a shot at WrestleMania. She's incredibly talented and has a bright future ahead of her.
I agree. She's a rising star.
Yeah.
And a WrestleMania appearance would be a major step in her career.
All right, let's switch gears again. Let's talk about something a little different. WrestleMania isn't just about the matches. It's about the moments, the surprises, the spectacle. What are you hoping to see in terms of those WrestleMania moments?
You know what? I'm hoping for a surprise return.
Okay.
Someone unexpected.
Yeah.
Someone who hasn't been seen in WWE in years. Someone like
Wait, don't tell me. Are you gonna say CM Punk?
No, I was actually thinking about someone like Edge.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He's been relatively quiet since his feud with Finn Balor ended, and I think he still has some gas left in the tank.
Ooh, Edge. That would be awesome. The rated R superstar returning at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The crowd would go wild.
They would. He's a legend, and he always delivers in those big moments.
He does. Okay, so Edge is at the top of your WrestleMania wish list. What else are you hoping for?
I'm hoping for a shocking heel turn.
Okay.
Someone who betrays their friend, their partner, their family. Someone who completely changes the landscape of WWE.
Ooh, I love a good heel turn.
Yeah.
It always shakes things up and creates new rivalries. Who do you think could turn heel?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It could be anyone, someone you'd least expect, someone who's been playing the good guy for years.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
I know, right?
We'll have to keep our eyes peeled for any signs of a potential heel turn. Okay, last question. What are you hoping to see in terms of the overall WrestleMania spectacle?
I'm hoping for something visually stunning. You know, something that takes our breath away. WrestleMania is all about creating those unforgettable moments.
Right.
And I want to see, I want to see WWE go all out with the production, the special effects, the entrances,
Yeah.
everything.
I agree. WrestleMania should be a visual feast. I want to see pyro, lasers, drones, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. It should be a spectacle
Yeah.
they'll be talking about for years to come.
All right, let's wrap things up. You've booked an incredible WrestleMania.
I have.
Yeah, you've got dream matches, shocking twists, surprise returns, and even a heel turn or two.
I've tried to create a WrestleMania that's both unpredictable and exciting. A WrestleMania that will leave the fans, wanting more.
I think you've succeeded.
I have.
But before we get too carried away with our fantasy booking,
Sure.
let's shift our focus back to reality.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, speculating on dream matches, potential storylines, surprise returns.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but it's important to remember that WrestleMania is still a few months away.
Right.
And a lot can change between now and then.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it countless times, right?
Yeah.
Where plans change at the last minute, whether it's due to injuries, creative shifts,
Right.
or just the unpredictable nature of the business.
Right. So while we've had fun exploring, all the possibilities, we have to acknowledge that the final WrestleMania card is still very much a work in progress.
Exactly. And that's part of what makes WrestleMania season so exciting. There's always that element of surprise, that anticipation of the unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
We might think we know what's going to happen, but WWE always has a few tricks up their sleeve.
Speaking of surprises, I have to go back to Ari Emanuel's comment about pretty good things happening at Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
It's been driving me crazy. Could he really have been hinting at The Rock's return?
I mean, it is possible.
Yeah.
The Rock's return. I mean, that would be huge for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it would create, that buzz that's been somewhat lacking this year.
Right.
But we also have to be realistic.
Yeah.
The Rock is a busy guy.
Yeah.
And it might be difficult for him to commit to a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a one-off appearance.
I know. But a wrestling fan can dream, right?
Of course.
And speaking of dreams, let's revisit that idea of Randy Orton turning heel and aligning with Kevin Owens. That would be a game changer.
It would definitely shake things up. Imagine those two just wreaking havoc on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even going after the tag team titles.
Yeah.
It would be a dominant force that few could stop.
It would be like a modern day version of the Outsiders.
Oh yeah.
Two veterans who are tired of playing by the rules and decide to take what they want.
Exactly. And they both have a history of ruthlessness.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be a stretch to see them, embrace a more villainous persona.
Right. All right, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the women's division.
Okay.
We've discussed the potential WrestleMania matches, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the overall state of women's wrestling in WWE.
Mm.
It's come a long way in recent years, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. I mean, the women's division is no longer an afterthought.
Right.
It's a major force in WWE.
Yeah.
With talented performers, who are main eventing shows, headlining pay-per-views.
Right. We've seen women like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Ronda Rousey
Uh,
become household names.
they are.
And the younger generation, like Rhea Ripley and
Yeah.
Liv Morgan are stepping up and proving that the future of women's wrestling is in good hands.
Exactly. And it's not just about, the in-ring action.
Right.
The storytelling has also, improved significantly. We're seeing more complex characters, more nuanced rivalries, more compelling storylines that really resonate with the audience.
I agree. It feels like WWE is finally giving women's wrestling the attention and respect it deserves.
They are.
And I'm excited to see what the future holds for the division.
I am too.
Yeah.
We're witnessing a golden age of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get bigger and better from here.
Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive with a final thought for our listener. We've speculated, we've analyzed, and we've shared our hopes and dreams for WrestleMania 41. But ultimately, the best part of WrestleMania is the unpredictability.
Oh, yeah.
It's the moments that catch us off guard, the surprises that leave us speechless, and the matches that exceed our expectations.
Exactly. So as you continue to follow the road to WrestleMania, keep an open mind, embrace the unexpected, and be prepared for anything. Because in the world of professional wrestling, the only certainty is that nothing is certain.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, dear listener, what are your WrestleMania predictions? What dream matches are you hoping for? What surprises do you think WWE has in store for us? Head over to our social media and let us know. We'll be back next week to break down all the latest developments as we get closer to the biggest event of the year. Until then, stay tuned.